upang matugunan ang mga kinakaharap na pagsubok ng mga guro at mag-aaral sa gitna ng kasalukuyang pandemya. Nagsanib tulong sina Congressman Charlie Cojuangco ng unang distrito ng Tarlac, DEPED Region 3 Regional Director Dr. May B. Eclar at Tarlac Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Ronaldo Pozon para sa isang napapanahong proyekto na tinaguriang Project Shine, Aral TarlakHenyo. Ang mga mag-aaral ng Grade 4 at Grade 5, ganon din ang Grades 8 and 9 sa buong probinsya ng Tarlac, kasalukuyang sumasailalim sa radio-based instruction. Katuwang ang himpilang DZTZ 828 kHz AM at RTV Tarlac, Channel 26.
Ang Tarlac po nangunguna po ngayon pagdating po sa radio-based instruction. Marami pong humahanga sa atin. I'm very happy this station, itong DCTC, could reach the whole of Region 3. Hindi natin alam, we are contributing. We are creating a very big dent in the history of Philippine education. And I am proud. I am here in Tarlac. This is the noble cause of education in which you and I, without you knowing it, we are bound to do.
Project natin na Project Shine is a natural consequence dahil sa nangyari sa buong mundo. Let's continue to work together. I think it's very Filipino to practice bayanihan in anything or most of the things that we do. And this is a manifestation of that. No? We have private sector, we have DEPED, we have local government, all working together. And I hope the parents of some of these children, especially the parents that did not graduate from school or hindi nakapag-aral nung sila ay bata, sana naman gamitin na nila itong opportunity na mag-schooling na rin sila kasama ng mga anak nila para mag-bonding pati ang mga magulang sa mga bata. I look at this as doing God's work. Diba? So if you do God's work, it feels right. It's righteous. It's for good, not for evil.
Good morning and happy learning, grade 4. Welcome to
Aral TarlakHenyo here on RTV Tarlac, Channel 26.
Simulcast over DZDZ 828. Radyo Pilipino Tarlac.
I am Teacher Mercy Pacheco Bognot.
This is Alistair Aidatu.
I am Marie Josephine B. Andrade.
I am Teacher Princess Marie M. Dueñas, and I will be your teacher broadcaster for today.
The word boondocks, which is now part of the English Language Dictionary and Vocabulary, comes from the Tagalog word bundok, meaning mountain. Catch Aral TarlakHenyo every Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. over Radyo Pilipino DCTC 828 and streamed live on Facebook page and YouTube channel of RTV Tarlac, Channel 26. I am Jeremiah Gahutan, your English teacher broadcaster. Let's learn English together only here on Aral TarlakHenyo.
Broadcasting live from Moncada, Tarlac, this is your teacher broadcaster, Miss Stanley May Tino All. And you are now tuning in to DZTZ 828 Aral TarlakHenyo and RTV Tarlac, Channel 26 for live streaming. Tarlac time check, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm staying with you until 1:25 p.m. To our listeners out there, I hope you're having a dose of your favorite de-stressors and happy pills. Let's go through this topic and a bucket of wisdom and knowledge, especially for grade 8 students. Once again, this is Teacher Mai, your teacher broadcaster. Happy to be with you today. Let's explore together in English and Afro-Asian literature. Oh, take note. Keep your friends, the learning activity sheets, self-learning modules, pen and paper close to you for this precious learning session to better understand our lesson for today. Sit back, relax, but not too much. Let me guide you in accomplishing our goals today. For us to achieve this, I'm requesting for your active participation. Can you gladly offer that? That's great. Stay with me, okay? Please feel free and comfortable to ask questions by writing them on our comment section. Today, you are expected to compare and contrast own opinions with those presented in familiar text, which will be the literary text entitled My Thigh Cat by Prathumrada Zeng. I hope that you'd also be able to appreciate the grand culture and values of Asia, the continent where we live, through our lesson this afternoon. Before we move forward, let me just show you these pictures. They are very cute, right? These are cats, kittens, and puppies of my friends. Do you have a cat? What is the name of your cat? Write them down in the comment box. Those are cute names. Though they seem weird and scary sometimes, I bet that you find them as very lovable pets. Are you someone who adores pets so much? Well, for today's lesson, we are going to explore the world of Seasword, a Thai or Siamese cat who was elected as the Rain Queen in the story of My Thai Cat. As our appetizer for today's meal of knowledge, let's try to guess what the cats say in each of the following pictures. What do you think are they talking about? Let's guess what the cat thinks in the speech balloon by choosing the correct adjective in the given choices. You may write your answers on the comment box so that we may have an interaction. First is from Luna's thoughts. What do you think is the cat thinking about? Correct. She thinks my human friend is so busy with schoolworks again. Work and learning from home demands too much of attention. Next is from Odin's thoughts. What do you think is he thinking about? Great, that's right. He wanted to say, I'm so bored. This happens when my human friend has the same routine of online class and does not focus on me anymore. Okay, there you have it. For the last lesson, we learned that multimodal texts include picture books, textbooks, graphic novels, comics, and posters. We see this every day and will get to encounter meaningful information and presentation of topics or subjects in either visual, linguistic, auditory, spatial, or even in gestures. Now, at this point, let us let your wit with a story from Thailand. The vocabulary words in your clever box for today are the following. Since time immemorial, drought, chant, peasants, and grave sin. You will encounter these words in the story, so let's try to find their meanings. Number 1. These refer to laborers or farm workers whose work is of the greatest importance. Correct. Peasant is the answer. Number 2. A prolonged dry period in the natural climate cycle that might have a slow onset disaster characterized by the lack of precipitation resulting in lack of water. Very good. Drought is the answer. Number 3. It is an action that is committed in full knowledge of its gravity and with the full consent and will of the sinner. Nice! You also call that a grave sin. Number 4. It has remained virtually unchanged and had been happening for many centuries. Write your answers in the comment box. Excellent! The phrase is since time immemorial. Number 5. It is a repeated rhythmic phrase, typically one shouted or sung in unison by a crowd. Good! You call that a chant. Great job on that, dear students. You are now ready for the story. The Lit Your Wit for today is entitled My Thigh Cat by the author Pratham Radha Zeng. Seasword, a Siamese cat, was given to Zeng by her father's friend. In 1925, the villagers were so desperate for rain. It is because of the drought they experience. Now, they kept praying to temples. However, nothing happened. Someone suggested them to perform the old Brahmo Buddhist rain ceremony called the Nangmao, the Queen of the Cats. This ceremony had been performed by the peasants since time immemorial. And this is where Seasword comes in. An old lady asked Zheng's father to let Seasword help in the ceremony. At first, Zheng was afraid that Seasword might be killed for an offering. As a tradition, to refuse the will or command of the father was a grave sin. But his father promised him that the cat would not be killed. So, they continued the ceremony. Seasword was put inside the cage and was applied with perfume. The cat misbehaved but later calmed down when Zheng approached it. During the ceremony, the cat fell asleep. The villagers offered their chant until the Siamese cat fell asleep for 3 days. Then, days went by. Rain finally fell. Since then, Seasword was elected as the Rain Queen of their village. Did you enjoy the story? I hope you did. Write your opinions on the comment box. Now, let me show you a list of transition words you may use in comparing or contrasting your own opinions to the literary text we read today. Transition words that compare show similarities. When there is something similar with regards to the characteristics or qualities of someone or something as compared to you, these transition words should be used. These are similar to or in a similar way. The second one is the same with. Next is in like manner. Next, in the same manner. You may also use likewise. Also, and compared to. Some of the examples are the following. Number 1, similar to the culture of people in other friendly countries, Filipinos accept guests in a hospitable manner. The transition word used here is the phrase similar to. Number 2, the Japanese people are courteous. In like manner, Koreans are well-mannered. The transition words used to compare is the word or the phrase in like manner. Lastly, Indonesians are warm-hearted. In the same manner, the Thais are kind to tourists and visitors. The transition word here is the phrase or the word in the same manner. Transition words that contrast, on the other hand, show differences or contradictions. When there is something contradictory with regards to the characteristics or qualities of someone or something as compared to you, these transition words should be used. These are different to, opposite to, in contrast to, however, on the other hand, and otherwise. Some of the examples are the following. Opposite to the Western culture's regard of November 1st as Halloween for trick-or-treating, some countries in Asia regard it as religious holiday for their beloved who passed away. The transition word here is opposite to. Number 2. In contrast to the practice of worship in Thailand, cats are regarded here as friends instead of queens. The transition phrase or word here is in contrast to. And last, pets are adorable and cuddly. In contrast, wild animals are scary. Okay, so the phrase that contrasts here is the phrase in contrast. Now let's proceed to the activity. Based on the list in the presentation, fill the blank in each item with the most appropriate transition word to use that shows comparison or contrast. Number 1, do we have the same practice of worshiping here in the Philippines? The statement is, blank, the culture of Thailand, we do not have the same practice of worshiping cats in the Philippines. What do you think is the correct transition word? The answer is in contrast to, or you can also use unlike, though that's not on the list. Number 2, how do we Filipinos and Thais regard cats? Filipinos adore cats so much, blank, how Thais even freeze them for drought. So the answer is The answer here is similar to. Filipinos adore cats so much, similar to how Thais even phrase them for drought. Number 3. In what way are Filipinos similar to or different from the Thais in terms of praying or worshiping? Filipinos as blank, Thais are religious and sometimes even superstitious. What is the correct answer? You should write here compared to. Let's read. Filipinos as compared to Thais are religious and sometimes even superstitious. There you go. I know you got them all correctly. For an additional activity, for extra score, this is only optional. Answer one of the questions in sentence form using any of the transition words listed above. You may ask your teachers, parents, or guardians to check the sentence for you. You may also comment. Do we have the same practice of worshiping here in the Philippines? How do we Filipinos and Thais regard cats? In what way are Filipinos similar to or different from the Thais in terms of praying or worshiping? This time, let's move forward to discussing the reasons why we need to compare and contrast when we read text. We need to compare or contrast to identify the similarities and differences between ideas. Because, number 1, comparing and contrasting will also help us better comprehend the issues raised or points made in any reading passage. Number 2, these skills are most especially useful when making a stand or giving opinions. Number 3, by identifying the similarities and differences between ideas, we as readers can form our own informed and evidence-based opinions. And lastly, let me remind you, there are many ways to note and present similarities and differences of any expository text using nonlinear text such as graphic organizers, and you will learn it further in quarter 2. For the last part, let's answer these 3 questions. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Both Raja Sulaiman and Jose Rizal fought for freedom and independence. What type of statement is presented in this? Is it an A. Argument, B. Comparison, C. Contrast, D. Opinion? The correct answer is B. Comparison. Number 2. Choose which does not belong to the group. We need to compare and contrast persons, things, and ideas in order to A. Draw out information from a text, B. Give an opinion about certain issue, C. Picture similarities, D. Make a Venn diagram. So what is the correct answer? Correct. The answer there is D. Make a Venn diagram. Number 3 and the last one. Listed below are aspects of the culture which are compared among Asian countries like Thailand and the Philippines, except blank. A. Tradition and beliefs, B. Religion, C. Science and technology, D. Pop culture. The correct answer here is, what do you think? The answer is C, science and technology. Okay, I hope you got them all correctly. Dear grade 8 students, if you have questions and clarifications about our lesson, you can send your questions to your English teachers or ask the assistance of your parent teachers or home learning facilitators. Once again, don't forget to watch us live on Facebook from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon from Monday to Friday for more exciting lessons in English 8 based on the most essential learning competencies. Please also take time to like and share our Facebook page, RTV Tarlac Channel 26. I hope you learned a lot today and enjoyed the platter of this afternoon's meal of knowledge. This is Stanley Maynool, your grade 8 teacher broadcaster. I hope I indeed lit your wit and updated your clever boxes. Stay safe and God bless us, everyone. Again, this is Teacher Mai, greeting you a happy day. Until next time, dear students, goodbye!
Sa pagnanais na mapigilan ng ating pamahalaan ang pagdami ng bilang ng mga kaso ng COVID-19, binuo ang One Hospital Command Center o OHCC upang mas mabilis na matugunan ang medikal na pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan. Bukas ang OHCC 24 oras araw-araw. Tumawag lamang sa mga hotline nito sa 0919-977-3333 o 0915-777-7777 o 02-886-50500. Maaari ring i-download ang Pure Force Citizens app sa Android o iOS upang mabilis na matugunan ang sinumang nangangailangan. Layon din ng OHCC na maiwasang mapuno ang kapasidad ng bawat ospital. Kaya't kung ikaw ay kinakailangang tumawag sa OHCC, mabibigyan ka ng libreng preliminary consultation. Para sa mga nangangailangan ng emergency quick response, makikipag-ugnayan ang OHCC sa DOH Bed Tracker at sa mga ospital upang makahanap agad ng pinakamalapit na bakanteng ospital. Ang transportasyon o ambulansya naman ng ospital na inirefer ng OHCC sa pasyente ang siyang susundo sa bahay nito. Kaya't kapag ikaw ay nakakaranas ng anumang sintomas ng COVID-19 o nangangailangan ng agarang tulong medikal, tumawag lamang sa OHCC at handa silang tumulong sa lahat ng oras.
Alam niyo ba na ang Pilipinas ay mayroong 7,641 islands? Mula sa bilang na 7,107 islands, nadagdagan ito ng 534 na isla noong 2017. Tanging 2,000 lamang sa mga islang ito ang natitirhan. Alam niyo na! Yan ang mga isla sa Pilipinas.
Kumusta mga giliw kong tagapakinig?
Nagbabalik ang inyong paaralang panghimpapawid,
Aral TarlakHenyo,
RTV Tarlac, Channel 26,
at sa bayang naririnig sa DZTZ 828,
Radyo Pilipino Tarlac.
Tayo rin ay napapanood sa FB Live ng RTV Tarlac Channel 26.
Sumasahimpapawid mula sa bayan ng Pura Tarlac,
mula sa bayan ng San Clemente.
Mula rito, sa Purok Elementary School, Pura Tarlac.
sa bayan ng Kapas Tarlac.
Ako, ang inyong guro,
na maghahatid sa inyo ng makabuluhang pagtalakay sa ating aralin.
Alam niyo ba na ang gitnang Luzon ay tinaguri ang banga ng bigas ng bayan at kamalig ng palay ng Pilipinas dahil dito nagmumula ang malaking produksyon ng bigas sa ating bansa. Ito ay binubuo ng mga lalawigan ng Aurora, Bataan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Zambales at Tarlac. Ugaliin nating manood ng Aral TarlakHenyo Lunes hanggang Biyernes alas 8:30 ng umaga hanggang alas 5:30 ng hapon. Ako si Binibining Pia Izrin Capiral, ang inyong teacher broadcaster sa Araling Panlipunan dito sa Project Shine Aral TarlakHenyo. Lagi nating tandaan ang pag-aaral ng Araling Panlipunan ay tungo sa daan ng pagiging makadiyos, makakalikasan, makatao at makabansa.
Welcome sa ating Aral TarlakHenyo ng Schools Division of Tarlac Province, hatid sa inyo ng RTV Tarlac, Channel 26 at DCTZ Radio Pilipino Tarlac. At ngayong araw ay matutunghayan natin ang isa na namang remote live broadcast para sa pag-aaral ng isa na namang leksyon sa Araling Panlipunan Grade 8, Kasaysayan ng Daigdig dito lamang sa Barangay Tibag. Magandang araw! Naririto na naman tayo nagpupunyagi at nagsisikap na maging makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa. Kumusta na kayo mga ginigilo kong mag-aaral? Ang aking pagbati at masidhing paghanga sa inyong patuloy na pag-aaral sa himpapawid sa kabila ng hamon ng pagkakataon ang COVID-19 pandemic. Ako nga pala ang inyong guro sa Araling Panlipunan Grade 8, Ginang Christy L. Castillo, at maaari niyo akong tawaging Teacher Tay. At naririto na naman akong muli upang gabayan at samahan kayo sa pag-aaral ng isa na namang panibagong leksyon, at ito ay ang ikalawang bahagi ng ating paksang aralin tungkol sa mga impluwensya ng mga kaisipang lumaganap sa gitnang panahon. Sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral at magulang na aming masugid na taga-subaybay at tagapakinig ng RTV Tarlac Channel 26 at DCTZ Radio Pilipino Tarlac, lalong-lalo na sa ating Aral TarlakHenyo, kung kayo ay may nais tanungin o linawin tungkol sa ating paksang aralin sa araw na ito, maaari kayong mag-text sa mga numerong naka-flash sa inyong screen. At sa lahat ng ating masugid na taga-subaybay at tagapakinig ng ating radyong panghimpapawid, naririto ang aking numero. 0921-25-225-24. Kaya ano pang hinihintay nyo? At text na. At bago tayo magsimula sa ating panibagong aralin, pinapaalala ko sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral sa ikawalong baitang ang ating kasunduan upang magkaroon kayo ng isang kaaya-aya at maayos na pakikinig sa ating radyong panghimpapawid. Dito lamang yan sa Aral TarlakHenyo. At ano-ano nga ba ang mga dapat ninyong gawin? Una, siguraduhin na kayo ay nasa komportableng lugar habang nakikinig. Pangalawa, ihanda ang inyong module, papel at ballpen na gagamitin sa ating pag-aaral. At pangatlo, iwasan ang paggawa ng ibang bagay at ituon ang sarili sa paksang ating tatalakayin. Alam kong tandang-tanda pa ninyo ang lahat ng mga kasunduan at iyon ay para magkaroon kayo ng kaaya-ayang pakikinig sa araw na ito. Handa na ba kayo para sa isang panibagong aralin? Pero bago diyan ay balikan muna natin ang paksang tinalakay noong nakaraang linggo. Subukan ninyong sagutin ang 5 tanong na aking ibibigay ukol sa impluwensyang politikal at impluwensyang pang-ekonomiya sa gitnang panahon. At para sa balik-aral, narito ang aking panuto. Isulat ang inyong sagot sa sagutang papel. At sa lahat ng taga-subaybay natin sa RTV Tarlac Channel 26, maaari ninyong i-type ang inyong mga sagot sa comment box. Handa na ba kayo? Para sa unang katanungan, ito ay tawag sa lupaing ipinagkaloob sa vassal. At kayo ay bibigyan ko ng 3 segundo para sagutin ang nasabing katanungan. Ang tamang sagot ay fifth. Para sa ikalawang katanungan, isa itong seremonya kung saan nangangako ang vassal ng kanyang katapatan sa Panginoong may lupa. Muli, kayo ay may 3 segundo para sagutin ang katanungan. At ang tamang sagot ay act of homage o homage. Ikatlong katanungan. Isa itong sistema ng katangian at pagpapahalaga na dapat taglayin ng isang knight. Kabilang dito ang katapangan, karangalan, katarungan, at kahandaang tumulong sa mahihina. At tapos na ang inyong 3 segundo at ang tamang sagot ay chivalry. Para sa ika-4 na katanungan, ito ang tawag sa pagkakahati ng sakahan sa 3 bahagi. Tiyak na alam ninyo ang tamang sagot dito. At ang tamang sagot sa ika-4 na katanungan ay 3-field system. Nakakakuha ba kayo ng mga tamang sagot? Kung gayon, magaling at tayo ni dumako sa ika-5 katanungan. Ito ang tawag sa pagpapalitan ng produkto o sistema ng kalakalan na hindi gumagamit ng salapi o pera. Isa lamang itong napakasimpleng katanungan na alam kong kayang-kaya niyong sagutin. At ang tamang sagot ay barter. Ilan ang nakuha niyong tamang sagot? Sana ay nakakuha kayo ng maraming tamang sagot. Sa lahat na nakakuha ng 5 tamang sagot, kayo ay binabati ko. Dahilan sa kayo ay nakinig sa ating aralin noong nakaraang araw. Sa mga hindi naman nakakuha ng maraming tamang sagot, ay okay lang yan dahil makakabawi pa kayo sa susunod nating pagsasanay. Ilan ang nakuha ninyong tamang sagot? Ayan, so meron nakakuha ng perpektong mga sagot at meron din namang nakakuha ng kalahating tamang sagot. Dumako na tayo ngayon sa ating talakayan. Tinalakay natin sa nakaraang aralin ang unang 2 aspeto ng impluwensya sa gitnang panahon. Ito ay ang impluwensyang politikal at ang impluwensya pang-ekonomiya. Ngayon ay ipagpapatuloy natin ang pag-aaral sa ika-3 aspeto ng mga kaisipang lumaganap sa gitnang panahon. At alam niyo ba kung ano ang impluwensyang yon? Yon ay ang impluwensyang sosyo-kultural. At ngayon, may alam na kayong 3 impluwensya na lumaganap noong gitnang panahon. Ang impluwensyang politikal, impluwensyang pang-ekonomiya, at impluwensyang sosyo-kultural. Kung sa nakaraang talakayan ay tinalakay natin ang tungkol sa impluwensyang politikal at pang-ekonomiya sa gitnang panahon, ngayon ay handa na ba kayo sa isa na namang panibagong aralin? Game na ba kayong mag-aral at matuto? Dito lamang yan sa Aral TarlakHenyo. Alam ko na kayo ay natutuwa sa tuwing nagkakaroon tayo ng ganitong uri ng klase ng pag-aaral, ng leksyon sa Araling Panlipunan, Grade 8, Kasaysayan ng Daigdig. At ngayon tatalakay naman natin ang tungkol sa aspetong sosyo-kultural na lumaganap sa gitnang panahon. Handa na ba kayong makinig? Kung gayon, atin nang umpisahan ang pagtatalakay. Ang mga pangyayaring naganap sa gitnang panahon ay may malaking impluwensya sa ating panahon. Isa mga pangyayaring ito sa mga humubog sa ating kasalukuyan at naging pundasyon ng mauunlad na sibilisasyon. Ang pagbagsak ng Imperyong Romano sa panahong ito ay isa lamang sa mga pangyayaring dapat nating tandaan. Ang tatalakay natin ay tungkol sa ika-3 aspeto at ito ay ang impluwensyang sosyo-kultural na lumaganap sa gitnang panahon. Alam ba ninyo kung ano ang naging impluwensya ng aspetong sosyo-kultural sa mga kaisipang lumaganap sa gitnang panahon? Ating isa-isahin at ipapaliwanag ko yan ng mas maigi. Dito pa rin sa ating Aral TarlakHenyo. Ngayong araw itatalakay natin ang ika-3 sa mga aspeto ng impluwensya at yan ay ang aspetong sosyo-kultural o ang paglakas ng simbahang Katoliko. Malaki ang naging impluwensya ng simbahang Katoliko at ilan sa mga ito ay ang mga sumusunod. Makinig na mabuti. Una, Nang bumagsak ang Holy Roman Empire, bumaling ang mamamayan sa simbahang Katoliko sa pamumuno at kaligtasan. Pangalawa, nahikayat nila ang mga barbaro na magpabinyag bilang Katoliko at maging tapat sa mga pari. Ilan pa sa mga impluwensya ng simbahang Katoliko ay ang mga sumusunod. Ikatlo, pinamunuan ng isang obispo ang mga lungsod ng mga Kristiyano. Pang-apat, arsobispo ang tawag sa mga obispo na nakatira sa malalaking lungsod na naging sentro ng Kristyanismo. Ikalama, tinawag na Papa ang obispo ng Rome. Kinilalang pinakamataas na pinuno ng simbahang Katoliko. Pang-anim, noong ika-11 siglo, ang pagpili ng Papa ay sa pamamagitan ng palakpakan lamang. Ikapito, ang kapapahan ay tumutukoy sa panahon ng panunungkulan at kapangyarihang pangrelihiyon ng Papa bilang pinuno ng simbahang Katoliko. Pangwalo, nakatulong ang mahusay na mga pinuno sa simbahang Katoliko sa paglakas nito. Yan, muli, ang mga impluwensya ng simbahang Katoliko. Atin namang kilalanin ang mga importanteng tao ng simbahang Katoliko sa gitnang panahon. Una sa ating listahan ay si Constantine the Great. At ang mga sumusunod ay ang mga bagay na naiambag niya. Una, pinagbuklod niya ang Kristiyano sa buong imperyo ng Roma. Pangalawa, itinatag niya ang konseha ng Nikea sa Bithynia. Pangatlo, pinalakas ang kapapahan sa pamamagitan ng konseho ng Constantinople kung saan pinag-uuri-uri ng mga obispo sa konsehong ito at ang iba't ibang malalaking lungsod sa imperyo ng Roma at pinili din ang Rome bilang pangunahing dioceses at kinilala ang obispo ng Rome bilang pinakamataas na pinuno ng simbahan. Susunod ay si Papa Leo the Great. At ilan sa mga naiambag niya ay mga sumusunod. Makikita na naka-flash ang larawan ni Papa Leo the Great. Tingnan mabuti ang kanyang itsura. Muli, ang mga bagay na naiambag niya ay mga sumusunod. Pinagtibay ang Petrine Doctrine, nagsasabing ang obispo ng Roma ay ang tunay na pinuno ng Kristyanismo sapagkat siya ang tagapagmana ni San Pedro. Pangalawa, pinag-utos niyang kilalanin ng hari o ang hari ng Rome ang kapangyarihan ng obispo bilang pinakamalakas na pinuno ng simbahan. Ilan pa sa kanyang mga kontribusyon at ang tinutukoy ko ay si Papa Leo the Great ay ang mga sumusunod. Ibinigay ang katawagang Papa sa obispo ng Rome. Sa kanyang panahon, kinilala ang kapangyarihan ng Papa sa buong kanlurang Europe. At tumanggi ang silang Europe na kilalanin ito. Susunod ay si Papa Gregory I. Muli, makakakita kayo ng isang larawan at yan ay si Papa Gregory I. At ang mga bagay na naiambag niya ay ang mga sumusunod. Inilaan niya ang kanyang buong pagsisikap sa paglilingkod at patnubay sa simbahang Katoliko sa buong kanlurang Europe. Nagawa niyang pasampalatayahin ang iba't ibang mga barbarong tribo sa Kristyanismo. Nagpadala siya ng mga misyonero sa iba't ibang bansa upang palaganapin ang Kristyanismo. At pang-apat, napalaganap niya ang Kristyanismo sa England, Ireland, Scotland, at Germany. Pang-apat ay si Papa Gregory VII. Muli makakakita na naman kayo ng isang larawan. At yan ay si Papa Gregory VII. Ilan sa mga bagay na niiambag niya ay ang mga sumusunod. Una, nagkaroon ng labanan sa kapangyarihan ng secular at ecclesiastical na pamumuno patungkol sa investiture noong kapanahunan ni Haring Henry IV. Ang investiture ay isang seremonya na kung saan ang isang hari ay pinagkalooban ng simbolo sa pamumuno tulad ng isang singsing. Itiniwalag niya si Haring Henry IV. At mayroon din tayong tinatawag na mga monghe. At sila ay iba pang mga naglingkod sa simbahang Katoliko. At ito ay mga monghe, ang mga sumusunod na naglalarawan kung sino nga ba ang mga monghe. Yan ang susunod nating tatalakayin. Una, sila ay pangkat ng mga pari na tumalikod sa makamundong pamumuhay. Pangalawa, sila ay nakatira sa isang monastery upang manalangin. At yan, makikita ninyo sa inyong screen, ay isang larawan ng isang monastery. Pangatlo, sila ay nasa ilalim ng pamumuno ng mga abot at papa. Pang-apat, namumuhay ang mga monghe sa mahigpit na alituntunin ng monasteryo. Panglima, ang pagtatrabaho at pagdarasal at nagsikap sila na linangin ang pagtatanim sa paligid ng mga monasteryo. At ngayon, alam niyo na kung sino nga ba ang tinatawag nating mga monghe. At makikita dyan ang isang larawan ng isang monghe at ang kadalasang kasuotan ng isang monghe. Maliwanag ba tungkol sa mga monghe? Kung gayon, magaling at dumako na tayo sa iba pang paksang ating tatalakayin. Naglalarawan kung sino nga ba ang mga monghe. Nakaimpluwensyang pagtatanim na ito sa pagunlad ng agrikultura sa buong Europa. Maliban sa pagdarasal at pagbibigay ng panalangin, ang mga monghe ay mahilig din sa pagtatanim. At ito ang nagbigay ng hudyat sa pagunlad ng agrikultura sa buong Europa. Nakakamahang isipin na sa gitnang panahon, nananatili ang pananalig sa Diyos ng mga tao. At yan ang dapat magkaroon tayo, ang pananalig sa Diyos, lalong-lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemic, upang tayo ay mailigtas sa anumang kapahamakan. Mga giliw kong mag-aaral, kayo ba ay aktibo sa simbahan o kahit anong puok dasalan at maging sa pagdarasal? Kung ang sagot ninyo ay oo or opo, labis akong natutuwa. Lalo na ngayon sa nararanasan nating pandemya. Kahit gaano kadilim ang ating daang nilalakaran, gaano man kalugmok ang ating buhay, matuto pa rin tayong magdasal at manalig sa ating Diyos. Sang-ayon ba kayo sa aking sinabi? Mabuti kung ganon. At thumbs up sa lahat ng nagpapatuloy sa pagdarasal. Hindi lamang para sa kanilang sarili, kundi maging sa ibang tao. Tandaan ninyo na mayroong laging Diyos na gumagabay sa atin at nakikinig sa bawat panalangin. Ika nga, keep the faith, manalig sa Diyos sa gitna ng pandemya. Panghuli sa ating talakayan ngayong araw ay ang mga gawain ng mga monghe. Ang mga sumusunod ay ilan sa kanilang mga gawain. Makinig mabuti. Una, nag-iingat ng mga karunungang klasikal ng mga sinaunang Griego at Romano. Ikalawa, isinusulat nila ng matyaga ang mga libro sa mga balat ng hayop upang mapangalagaan ito. Ikatlo, sila ang nag-iingat ng mga sinumang kaalaman. Pang-apat, nagpapakain ng mga mahihirap, nangangalaga ng may sakit, at kumukupkup ng mga taong nais makaligtas sa mga kaaway nito. Panglima, sila rin ang isa sa nagpalaganap ng Kristyanismo sa utos ng Papa sa iba't ibang parte ng kanlurang Europe. At ang mga nabanggit ko muli ay ang mga mahalagang gampanin ng mga monghe. Sa kabuuan, maraming mga kaisipan ang naka-impluwensya sa gitnang panahon, mapa aspetong politika, ekonomiya at sosyo-kultural. Ating tandaan ng humina at tuluyang bumagsak ang imperyo ng Roma ay siya namang pag-unlad at pag-usbong ng simbahang Katoliko na isa rin sa may pinakamahalagang impluwensya noong gitnang panahon ng Europa at sa kasalukuyan. Ang simbahan at Kristyanismo ay may napakalaking naiambag hindi lamang sa Europa kundi pati na rin sa mga karatig bansa nito. Napagtanto nyo na rin ba ito mga giliw kong mag-aaral sa ikawalong baitang? Mabuti naman kung ganoon. Sana ay naunawaan ninyo ang tatlong impluwensya ng mga kaisipang lumaganap sa gitnang panahon. At yun ay ang tungkol sa politika, ekonomiya at sosyo-kultural. Ngayong tapos na natin ang ikalawang bahagi ng ating leksyon tungkol sa mga impluwensyang lumaganap sa gitnang panahon, oras na upang tasahin o sukatin ang inyong kaalaman ukol sa impluwensya ng sosyo-kultural sa gitnang panahon. Ihanda ang inyong mga kwaderno at ballpen para sa inyong mga gagawin. Isulat ang inyong pangalan, antas at pangkat at petsa ngayong araw. At pakinggang mabuti ang panuto at ang mga tanong na aking babasahin at isulat ninyo ang mga tamang sagot sa sagutang papel kung kayo may hawak na learning activity sheets. At sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay sa RTV Tarlac Channel 26, maaari kayong mag-type ng inyong komento sa ating comment box. Para sa inyong panuto, para sa ating panuto, para sa pagsasanay, number 1. Makinig mabuti. Isulat ang salitang tama kung wasto ang ideyang isinasaad ng pangungusap. Kung mali naman, isulat ang salitang nagpamali sa bawat pangungusap. Isulat ng inyong sagot sa sagutang papel or i-type sa ating comment box. Kayo ba ay handa ng sumagot sa ating pagsasari number 1? Inuulit ko ang panuto, isulat ang salitang tama kung wasto ang ideyang sinasaad ng pangungusap. Kung mali naman, hindi isusulat ang salitang mali. Bagkus, isusulat ang salitang nagpamali sa bawat pangungusap. Alam kong kayang-kaya niyong gawin ang ating pagsasanay number 1. Narito na ang mga tanong. At kayo ay bibigyan ko ng 3 segundo para sagutin ang katanungan sa bawat bilang. Alam kong handang-handa na kayo. Nang bumagsak ang Holy Roman Empire, bumaling ang mamamayan sa simbahang Katoliko sa pamumuno at kaligtasan. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? Kung ang sagot ninyo ay tama, kayo ay binabati ko. Dahilan ng pahayag ay tama. Ikalawa, tinatawag na Arsobispo ng Rome ang kinikilalang pinakamataas na pinuno ng simbahang Katoliko. Ito ba isang tama o maling pahayag? Ito ay isang maling pahayag dahilan sa Arsobispo ang nagpamali sa pahayag. Dahil ang kinikilalang pinakamataas na pinuno ng simbahang Katoliko ay tinatawag na Papa. Mahusay sa mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Ngayon dumako na tayo sa ikatlong katanungan. Pinagbuklod ni Constantine the Great ang mga Kristiyano sa buong imperyo ng Roma at kayo may 3 segundo para sagutin ito. At sa lahat ng nakakuha o sumagot ng tama, kayo ay mahusay dahil tama ang tamang sagot. Pang-4, ang mga monghe ay nasa ilalim ng pamumuno ng mga abot at papa. Mag-uumpisa na ang inyong 3 segundo. At kung ang sagot ninyo ay tama, kayo ay very good at 2 thumbs up para sa inyo. At dumako naman tayo sa ika-5 bilang. Ang investiture ay isang seremonya na kung saan ang isang hari ay pinagkalooban ng simbolo sa pamumuno tulad ng isang singsing. At kung ang sagot ninyo ay tama, kayo ay muli kong binabati. At para sa ating pagsasanay number 2, tukuyin kung sino o ano ang nilalarawan sa pangungusap. Isulat ito sa sagutang papel. Naririto ang mga katanungan. Una, pangkat ng mga pari na tumalikod sa makamundong pamumuhay at naninirahan sa mga monasteryo. Pangalawa, siya ang nagpatibay ng Petrine Doctrine. Ito ay sasagutin ninyo ng minsanan. Pangatlo, isang seremonya kung saan nangako ang vassal ng kanyang katapatan sa Panginoong may lupa. Pang-4, tawag sa pagpapalitan ng produkto o sistema ng kalakalan na hindi gumagamit ng salapi o pera. At pang-5, tumutukoy sa panahon ng panunungkulan at kapangyarihan pangrelihiyon ng Papa bilang pinuno ng simbahang Katoliko. At narito ang mga tamang sagot. Sa una, monghe. Pangalawa, Papa Leo the Great. Pangatlo, homage or act of homage. Pang-4 ay barter at ang pang-5 ay kapapahan. Sa lahat ng mga nakakuha, ayan ang mga tamang sagot. Sa lahat ng mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot, good job! Dahil ngayon napatunayan nyo na kayo ay talagang nakikinig sa ating radyong panghipapawid. At bilang karagdagang gawain, kayo ay gagawa ng isang slogan na nagpapakita ng pagpapahayag ng mga magagandang kaisipan na lumaganap sa gitnang panahon. Inyo itong ibibigay sa inyong guro bago magsimula ang ikatlong markahan. At para sa ating rubrics, kaugnayan sa aralin, 10 puntos Pagkamalikhain, 5 points. Originality, 5 points. Good luck sa inyong susunod na gawain. Isang leksyon na naman ang natapos sa araw na ito at sana ay patuloy niyong ibahagi ang mga kaalamang inyong natututunan sa RTV Tarlac, Channel 26 at DCTZ Radio Pilipino Tarlac. Muli, ako ang inyong guro sa Araling Panlipunan Grade 8, Ginang Christy L. Castillo, na nagsasabing ang pag-aaral ng Araling Panlipunan ay daan sa pagiging makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, at makabansa. Hanggang sa muli, stay safe!
I'm back! This is Sorzi, your teacher broadcaster.
Magandang araw mga kapantas!
Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo.
Good afternoon, learners. Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo, here on RTV Tarlac, Channel 26, simulcast over DZTZ 828 Radio Pilipino Tarlac, broadcasting live from Camiling, Tarlac. This is Grayson Villamin Segundo, your teacher broadcaster for the TLE, Grade 8 Cookery, serving you with the different skills to learn in TLE 8. I am grateful that despite the effects of this COVID-19 pandemic in our lives, you are still willing to learn new things. I would like to invite you to join us in an exciting way of learning, even at the comfort of your homes. Make sure that you are seated comfortably, geared with your paper, pen, modules, and of course, with a ready and active mind. At this point, kindly prepare your module in cookery. Do you have it now? Great! Again, make sure that you are in a comfortable place, far from noise, so that you can hear me loud and clear while listening to this program. Let us have now a review on our previous lesson. For me to be able to know if you could still recall our last topic, you will be going to rearrange the jumbled letters. Again, I will repeat the directions. All you need to do, class, is to rearrange the jumbled letters. For those who are watching on FB Live, you can participate by typing your answer on the chat box. And for those who are listening and watching on television, you can write your answer on your TLE notebook. Are you ready? That's great. Let us now start. What do you think is this word? F-E-S-Y-A-T. What is your answer? Very good. The answer is safety. How about this word? C-P-A-T-A-L-I-O-U-O-C-N. What is your answer? You got it right. The answer is occupational. Next, how about this one? A-L-H-H-E-T. What is your answer? Great. The answer is health. Next word is U-R-R-O-C-E-D-P-E. What is your answer? You are correct. The answer is procedure. And for the last one, we have A-C-P-R-E. What is your answer? Yes, you are right. The answer is practice. Very good. Thank you for your active participation. I'm so glad that you really listened to our discussion last time, which is about the importance of occupational health and safety procedures. It is indeed that occupational health and safety procedures is important so that the risk factors at the workplace can be prevented. The main focus in occupational health and safety procedures is to maintain the workers' health and safety, improve working environment, and develop work organizations. At this point in time, class, allow me now to present our topic, which is hazards and risks in the workplace. But before anything else, our objectives for today's episode are the following. First is to determine the types of hazards and risks in the workplace. Identify hazards and risks in the workplace. And lastly, appreciate the importance of knowing how to determine the type of hazards and risks and how to identify them in the workplace. As we go further with our discussion, there are important terms that you will encounter. For you to better understand our lesson proper, I will unlock your difficulties by giving the definition of the following words. Our first word is hazard. It is a situation that could be dangerous to people in the workplace. Then we have risk. Risk is the chance or probability that a person will be harmed. Another word is workplace. This is a place where people work. Another word is health. It is the overall condition of the body. Next is safety. It is the freedom from danger, risk, or injury. We have also contaminate, means infect by contact. Next is virus. It is an organism that depends on a host cell for development or reproduction. And lastly, we have fungi. Fungi may be small or large parasitic organisms growing in a living or dead plant or animal matter. There you have it, class, the important terms that you should remember as we go on with our discussion. So without taking it any longer, let us now begin our lesson. Our topic is all about hazards and risks in the workplace. We will be dealing, class, about 4 types of hazards, which are the following: physical hazard, chemical hazard, biological hazard, and ergonomic hazard. Let us start with the physical hazard. Physical hazard are the factors or conditions within the environment that can harm your health. These are now the examples of physical hazards. We have poor lighting, poor ventilation, insufficient facilities, inefficient or faulty equipment or machine, improper work practice such as wrong use of knives, and ignorance or carelessness of the worker. But do not worry to work on your kitchen, class. We have this what we call control measures in order for us to prevent these hazards. You should clean up spills right away, use mats on slippery floors, wear appropriate work shoes, improve cleaning methods to prevent buildup of grease or detergent, provide ample storage space to avoid materials being placed in aisles or walkways, set absorbent flooring materials into entrance areas. Firefighting equipment must be available, located in a specified area. You can include fire extinguishers blankets, sand buckets, and water hoses. And of course, switch off and unplug all electrical appliances before leaving the workplace. Let us now move on, class, to the chemical hazard. What is chemical hazard? Chemical hazards are substances used and or produced at work that have the potential to harm the health and safety of people at work. It is brought by use of chemicals such as disinfectants for cleaning equipment and floorings, fumes, and smokes from cooking. We have here some examples. We have acids, cleaning products such as toilet cleaners, disinfectants, and chlorine bleach, paints, pesticides, and solvents. But again, do not worry. We have also control measures to these hazards. We can eliminate chemical hazard using alternative substances or processes which are less hazardous. Good ventilation can get rid of the fumes and chemical smell that builds up in a kitchen. And of course, the use of appropriate personal protective equipment. Next is the biological hazard. Class, do you have any idea what is biological hazard? Yes, biological hazard is also known as biohazards. Refer to biological substances that pose a threat to the health of living organisms, primarily that of humans. Microorganisms are everywhere and are continually introduced into the environment. These are caused by living organisms, which includes insects, molds, fungi, viruses, and bacterial contamination. The question is how biological hazard occurs in our workplace. This happens by the following reasons: defects in sanitation and housekeeping procedures such as provision of potable water, removal of industrial waste, food handling, and personal cleanliness. The following are the methods on how to control infectious diseases. First is cleaning. It is the removal of soil and the reduction in the number of microorganisms from equipment surfaces by washing in detergent and warm water. You can also do disinfection. It is the removal of microorganisms by chemical or physical means. And sterilization. It is the total destruction of all living microorganisms and their spores. Let us now proceed to the next hazard, which is the ergonomic hazard. Ergonomic hazard refer to workplace conditions that pose the risk of injury to the worker's musculoskeletal system. Musculoskeletal injuries, also referred to as repetitive strain injury. Manual handling involves any activity that requires the use of force exerted by a person to lift, lower, push, pull, carry, or otherwise move any load. These can result in injuries to any part of the body. Here are the examples of what causes this hazard. We have improper lifting or reaching, poor visual conditions, and repeated motions in an awkward position that may be responsible for fatigue, stress, strain, and may lead to accidents in the occupational environment. To prevent ergonomic hazards in lifting objects, the following procedures must be done. First is to plan the lift before you begin. Position your feet shoulder width apart. Bend your knees without moving your upper body. Squat down to the floor. Keep the shoulders level and facing in the same directions as the hips. Get a firm grip and keep the arms within a boundary formed by the legs. Keep the load as close to the body as possible. Lift the load smoothly, do not jerk. And if an item is too high, use a step ladder or stool to help you. Take a look at the pictures, class. The first picture shows the wrong way of lifting objects that we usually do. The second picture shows the proper way of lifting objects. Since you already knew class the right way, start practicing it to prevent injury when lifting objects. There you have it, class, the different types of hazards that we have discussed. Can you repeat all those hazards? Very good. We have physical hazard, chemical hazard, biological hazard, and ergonomic hazard. It is very important, class, to know the different type of hazards and preventive measures because this will increase your awareness. Your safety conscious mindset will help you spot all the types of hazards while at work. It's time now, class, for your activity, and we call it Look Out. I will be going to present to you, class, a picture, and I want you to find all the hazards present in that picture. You may use a sheet of paper to list down all the identified hazards. You have 60 seconds to do that. And your time starts now. Can you locate all the hazards, class? Okay, 30 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Okay, your time is up. Let us now see if you have able to locate and list down all the hazards present in the picture shown. Okay, first is the window. The closed window could lead to poor ventilation. Then we have also the appliances. There were 5 unattended appliances shown in the picture. This can cause fire. We have also dirty dishes and cooking wares. Long exposure of these items could invite molds and bacteria. We have also the towel. The towel, as you can see, is very near to the cooking area. It can cause fire. How about the cigarette? Yes, cigarette is one of the hazards. It was placed on top of the cabinet near a reading material. This could cause fire. We have also the trash bin. It has no lid. The trashes are exposed. This will invite bacteria. Another are the chemicals. Chemicals must be properly labeled and placed in a cabinet where it is not easy for children to open. We have also the cats. Animals could transport viruses and bacteria. How about the wire on the floor? Yes, it is also hazard because it can cause someone to be tripped. We have also the wet floor. This can cause someone to be slipped. Another is the outlet. As you can see, class, it was overloaded. This will cause short or worse may lead to fire. And, of course, the knives. It should be properly stored because this might wound someone. Did you spot all the hazards? Congratulations, class, for a job well done. This time, class, kindly bring out your TLE notebook, or you may use the chat box for a 10-item multiple choice test. For the directions, all you need to do is to write or type the letter of the correct answer. Okay, let me now read the questions. Number 1, Gian accidentally inhaled gases from a chemical that was used by his co-worker. What type of hazard is being identified? Gian accidentally inhaled gases from a chemical that was used by his co-worker. What type of hazard is being identified? Is it A, chemical hazard, B, biological hazard, C, physical hazard, or D, ergonomic hazard? What is your answer? If your answer is A, then you are correct. It's chemical hazard. Next question. Children who love to play with animals have a greater risk of infection. What type of hazard might it be? Children who love to play with animals have a greater risk of infection. What type of hazard might it be? Is it A, chemical hazard, B, biological hazard, C, physical hazard, or D, ergonomic hazard? What is your answer? If your answer is B, biological hazard, then you are right. Next question. What hazard is being shown when raw meat is on a counter for a long period of time? What hazard is being shown when raw meat is on a counter for a long period of time? Is it A, chemical hazard, B, biological hazard, C, physical hazard, or D, ergonomic hazard? What is your answer? If your answer is B, then you are correct. Biological hazard. Next question. Diane had an injury because of improper lifting technique. What hazard is implied? Diane had an injury because of improper lifting technique. What hazard is implied? Is it A, chemical hazard, B, biological hazard, C, physical hazard, or D, ergonomic hazard? What is the answer? If your answer is D, ergonomic hazard, you are very good. Let's continue to the next question. James accidentally fell on the floor because of the spilled liquid on it. What hazard is being shown? James accidentally fell on the floor because of the spilled liquid on it. What hazard is being shown? Is it A, chemical hazard, B, biological hazard, C, physical hazard, or D, ergonomic hazard? What is the answer? If your answer is C, physical hazard, you are correct. Next question. This hazard is due to repeated strain injury like improper lifting or reaching. This hazard is due to repeated strain injury like improper lifting or reaching. Is it A, chemical hazard, B, physical hazard, C, biological hazard, or D, ergonomic hazard? What is your answer? If your answer is D, ergonomic hazard, you are right. Next question. It is the term used to refer to anything that may cause injury or ill. It is a term used to refer to anything that may cause injury or ill. Is it A, hazard, B, chemical, C, risk, or D, illness? What is the answer? If your answer is letter A, hazard, you are very good. Next question. Hannah was caught by his supervisor doing improper work practices such as wrong use of knives. Under what type of hazard is it? Hannah was caught by his supervisor doing improper work practices such as wrong use of knives. Under what hazard is it? Is it A, physical, B, chemical, C, ergonomic, or D, biological? What is your answer? Is it letter A, physical hazard? Yes, A is the right answer. Next question. Andre had skin rashes because he was exposed to chemical substance in the laboratory. Under what type of hazard is it? Andre had skin rashes because he was exposed to chemical substance in the laboratory. Under what type of hazard is it? Is it A, physical, B, chemical, C, ergonomic, or D, biological? What is the answer? If your answer is B, chemical hazard, You are correct. And for the last item, this hazard is caused by bacterial contamination such as improper personal hygiene. This hazard is caused by bacterial contamination such as improper personal hygiene. Is it A, physical, B, chemical, C, ergonomic, or D, biological? What is your answer? Is it D, biological? Yes, you are correct. Who got a perfect score? Very good, class. Majority of you got a perfect score. It means that you really listened to our discussion. I hope you already know how it is important to know how to determine the type of hazards and risks and how to identify them in the workplace. Before we end, may I read some of the questions from different schools? Okay, we have a question here from Birbira High School. The question is, why is it important to know how to identify hazards and risks in the workplace? Okay, identifying hazards is the first step in preventing or mitigating risks, and mitigating risks prevent injuries. Another question from Bilad High School. What is the difference between hazard and risks? Hazard is something that can cause harm, while risk is how great the chance that someone will be harmed by the hazard. Thank you for asking those questions. That was a great learning experience with you. I hope you learned a lot today and may you apply this learning in your daily lives. This is Project Shine Aral TarlakHenyo, brought to you by the Department of Education, Division of Tarlac Province, in cooperation with DZTC 828 Radyo Pilipino Tarlac, sponsored by our ever-supportive Congressman of 1st District, Honorable Charlie Cuangco. Thank you so much, sir. Let us always remember that in TLE, we aim for skills, knowledge, and progress. Thank you and keep safe, everyone. This is your teacher broadcaster from Marawi National High School, Grace Ann Villamin Segundo, signing off.
Alam niyo ba na ang kinikilalang Guinness Book of World Records holder bilang pinakamaliit na commercially harvested fish ay isang sinarapan? Ito ay matatagpuan lamang sa Pilipinas, sa Lake Buhi sa Bicol River. Isa itong uri ng goby na may transparent na katawan na may sukat na 12.5 mm. Alam mo na, yan ang sinarapan.
How are you today?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, learners of Tarlac.
Good morning, Math Talino Grade 4 learners!
Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo here on RTV Tarlac Channel 26.
Simulcast over DCTC
Radyo Pilipino Tarlac.
I'm Sir Glenn, your teacher broadcaster.
Broadcasting live here at Paniki Tarlac.
Remotely here in Concepcion, Tarlac.
Live here at Barangay Pedro Elquines, Mayantok, Tarlac.
Broadcasting live from Ramos National High School.
Your anchor teacher today for grade 9 mathematics.
Your partner in education this time of pandemic.
From Victoria, Tarlac, you are watching Aral TarlakHenyo here on RTV Tarlac, simulcast over DZTC 828 Radyo Pilipino Tarlac. You can also watch us live via Facebook page and YouTube channel on RTV Tarlac Channel 26. Hello, Grade 8 learners. I am Mary Ann Palomo Sullivan, your teacher broadcaster for Health Grade 8. Join me for 25 minutes of meaningful learning experience on air. Before we begin, I have some study tips to maximize remote learning. First, find a comfortable place that is far from noise so that you will hear me loud and clear. Next, get all the materials you will need while watching or listening to our broadcast. Listen attentively and be interactive. You may use the comment box below if you have questions. You may also type your answers in the comment box during activity time. Grade 8 Health for second quarter is about family life. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defined family life as the kind of life a person normally leads when one is married and has children. For this afternoon, you are expected to analyze the importance of responsible parenthood, explain the effects of rapid population growth and family size on health of the nation, examine the important roles and responsibilities of parents in child rearing and care, and enumerate modern family planning methods. Before we proceed to our lesson for today, let us have a review of the previous lesson. Kindly get your activity sheets and let us answer activity number 1. For the first activity, true or false. Write true if the statement is correct and false if it is incorrect. For item number 1, Republic Act number 9288 is an act promulgating a comprehensive policy and a national system for ensuring newborn screening. The correct answer is true. Item number 2. Breast milk for a newborn 0 to 6 months is sufficient to meet the nutritional needs. The correct answer is true. Item number 3. Republic Act number 7600 is an act known as the Rooming In and Breastfeeding Act of 1992. The correct answer is true. Item number 4. The maternal nutritional status does not affect the offspring's health development. The correct answer is false. Last item, number 5. The letter P in UPGAR scoring means pulmonary. The correct answer is false. Very good. It stands for pulse. How well did you perform in the first activity? Kindly comment your scores in the comment box. Today is the last episode of MAPE Grade 8 for the second quarter. Kung napansin ninyo, the lesson for this quarter in health is a sequence of events. Nagsimula ito sa ligawan or the selection of partner phase. Ang iba, dumidiretso sa kasal, and eventually nagkakaroon ng anak. Pero, hindi ito nagtatapos sa pagkakaroon ng anak. At yan ang magiging focus natin in this afternoon session, responsible parenthood and family planning. So let us proceed to the first topic, which is about responsible parenthood. Responsible parenthood is the ability of both mother and the father to provide the physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual needs of the children. Let us compare parenthood and responsible parenthood. Parenthood is a state of being a parent, biological child's father or mother, or legal father and mother of the child when adoption is involved. Whereas, responsible parenthood is the will and ability of parents to provide the basic needs and support the goals of each member of the family.
It is a shared responsibility between the husband and wife to plan and achieve the desired number, spacing, and timing of their children according to their own family life objectives, taking into consideration the psychological preparedness, health status, socio-cultural, and economic concerns. So napakalaki ng difference sa pagiging magulang sa pagiging responsableng magulang. Parenthood, ito yung pagkakaroon ng anak. Ang responsible parenthood naman ay ginagampanan ang tungkulin at responsibilidad bilang isang magulang sa kanyang mga anak. The question is, what are the duties and responsibilities of a parent? First, provide physical care and love. The duties and responsibilities of the parents start during the prenatal stage. The physical, emotional, and mental condition of children depend on the quality of prenatal care they receive. It was discussed in the previous episodes kung paano ang pag-aalaga sa expecting mother. It affects the health of both mother and the child, the kind of care they receive. So next we have inculcate discipline. The parents should be role models in inculcating discipline in their children. Mahirap man disiplina kung mismong magulang walang disiplina. The children always look up to parents as their role models. Another, develop social competence. The children should develop social competence in order to acquire the ability to consider another person's perspective concerning a situation and learn from past experiences. Social competence begins at home. Usually, socialization with other members of the family, especially within age group. Ang social competence dito natututo paano makihalubilo. Sa mga bata, napaka-importante ng play or paglalaro. Kaya pansinin ang mga magulang uutusan ang mga anak, makipaglaro ka. Share, wag magdamot. Kaya hindi advisable na bata pa lang gadgets ang kalaro ng mga bata dahil hindi sila matututo ng socialization. Next on the list, provide education. It is the duty of parents to nurture their children's education. Education is an important issue in one's life. It is the key to success in the future and to have many opportunities in life. Kaya naman, dear learners, kahit gaano kahirap ang buhay, ang mga magulang, talagang isinasakripisyo at iginagapang ang pag-aaral ninyo. Ang pagpapahalaga sa pag-aaral ay pagpapahalaga sa sakripisyo ng mga magulang. It is also the responsibility of parents to train children to become good citizens. Parents should serve as the role models in enhancing their children's social responsibility and commitment to contribute to the development of their communities. A solid moral and ethical foundation that supports the development of compassion, integrity, commitment, selflessness, and all of the other attributes that constitute to the good neighbor. The children should develop their ability to uphold the law and promote peace and order in the community. So next we have, teach children to be financially responsible. Parents should provide opportunities for their children to develop their ability to manage money and other assets in a manner that is considered productive and in the best interest of the individual or family. Teaching kids about money early on instills good financial habits that will follow them into adulthood. Kaya huwag na magtaka kung sinasabihan kayo na mag-ipon o magtipid. Finally, we have guide children to grow spiritually. Parents should provide their children opportunities to develop and grow their whole person by focusing on their spiritual life. Ang mga magulang tinuturuan na magdasal ang mga anak, magsimba, sumamba, manampalataya sa Diyos o kay Allah, depende sa religious belief na mayroon ang isang pamilya. So there you have it. Those are the different duties and responsibilities of parents. Parenthood does not end at birth because it never ends. Responsible parenthood comprises choosing our partners, the right time to form families, when to have the first child spacing, the number of children to have in all. But responsible parenthood does not end with decisions on when to have them and about how many children to have. Responsible parenthood must be on making decisions that will ensure the best possible lives for ourselves and our children. Isa sa mga importanteng elements ng responsible parenthood ang family planning. Family planning allows people to attain their desired number of children and determine the spacing of pregnancies. It is achieved through the use of contraceptive methods and the treatment of infertility. Ano sa palagay ninyo ang mangyayari kapag hindi nag-family planning? Kindly comment your answer sa ating live section, comment live section, and let us see kung mahuhulaan nyo ang tamang sagot. So, comment now your answer together with your name, school, and section. So again, the question is, ano sa palagay ninyo ang mangyayari kapag hindi nag-family planning? And the correct answer is, it may lead to rapid population growth or overpopulation. Population is defined as a group of people of the same classes living and propagating within a given area. Members of a population often rely on the same resources, are focused to similar environmental limitations, and depend on the availability of other members to persevere over time. Overpopulation is the lack of necessary resources to meet the needs of the population of a defined area. Immature parenting and lack of knowledge in family planning may lead to severe difficulties, not only personal but global as well. Overpopulation is viewed to be one of the effects of these situations, and it created ripple effects too. Overpopulation can have various effects, which most are negative. So what are the different effects of overpopulation? First, lower life expectancy. This stretches the resources, resulting in less access to medical care, fresh water, food, and jobs, all resulting in a fall in life expectancy. So, ibig sabihin, mas maiksi ang buhay. Next, we have extinction. The consequence of overpopulation on the world's wildlife is also a key issue. As a demand for land races, so too does the destruction of natural habitats such as forests. Kasi converted na ang land, tatayuan ng bahay, shopping malls, at iba pang klase ng buildings. Another, we have resource consumption. As the population grows, the number of resources needed to keep so many people alive rises as well. Food, water, and fossil fuels are being consumed at highest rates, placing greater demands on producers and the planet itself. And finally, we have faster climate change. Overpopulation directly links to climate change, particularly as larger nations continue to develop their industrial capacities. 97% of the scientific community agrees that human activities are changing global temperatures. Larger populations may speed these things changes up, especially if nothing is prepared to reduce individual carbon footprints on a wide scale. So there you have it, the different effects of overpopulation. Now, what causes overpopulation? First is poverty. Poverty is believed to be the leading cause of overpopulation. A lack of educational resources, together with high death rates, leading to higher birth rates, result in disadvantaged parts, seeing large booms in populations. Next, poor contraceptive. Through the accessibility of contraceptives is common in industrialized countries, poor planning on both partners' parts can lead to unexpected pregnancies, reduced mortality rates. Improvement in medical technology has led to lower death rates for many serious diseases. Fertility treatment. Though it only plays a minor role in comparison to the other causes of overpopulation, improved fertility treatments have made it possible for more people to have children. Next is immigration. Unrestricted immigration into countries may lead to overpopulation to the point where those countries no longer have the required resources for their population. This is particularly difficult in countries where immigration numbers far exceed emigration numbers. If parents will fail to plan for their family, chances are they will contribute to rapid population growth. It is already pointed out the causes and effect of overpopulation. And as mentioned, most of it are negative. I hope you are learning a lot in our lesson. For those who have just tuned in, you are watching Aral TarlakHenyo only here on RTV Tarlac, Channel 26. Simulcast over DZTC, Radyo Pilipino, Tarlac. This is Ma'am Ann, your teacher broadcaster for MAPE Grade 8. So before we proceed to our discussion, I want you to watch a TV commercial way back in 2014. After watching the commercial, paki-comment ang inyong reaction, opinion, or aral na natutunan sa commercial. Roll video.
Isang taon pa lang ako, nasundan na ni Toto. Grade 2, 8 taon pa lang, 4 na bata ang inaalagaan. Grade 6, 12 na ako, kasing dami na ng pamilya ko. Sabi mo, pasensya na, walang pera kaya mag-drop out ka. Ina ko, sabi mo kami mahal nyo, ari ko pati kayo nagplano. Sana hindi gutom at nag-aaral pa, alaga't malusog ang buong pamilya.
Ang planadong buhay ay maayos na buhay.
Ang planadong buhay ay maayos na buhay. Parte ng responsible parenthood ang family planning. So nakita natin sa video kung ano ang hindi magandang epekto sa pamilya kung hindi makakapag-family planning. Family planning gives idea for couples to attain desired number of children and determine the spacing of pregnancies. It is achieved through the use of contraceptive methods and the treatment of infertility. What is contraceptive? It refers to various methods to prevent pregnancy. So we have different examples. We have hormonal contraceptive. These methods include oral contraceptive pills, injectables, and implants. Oral contraceptive pills should be taken 1 pill every day. Injectable contraceptives are given by injection to a woman once every 1, 2, or 3 months, depending on the type of injectable. Contraceptive implants are inserted under the skin of a woman's upper arm and provide continuous, highly effective pregnancy protection for 3 to 5 years, depending on the type of implant. Next, we have barrier methods. These physically block sperm from reaching an egg. Most common example is the male and female condoms. In addition to pregnancy, condoms are the only family planning method that provides protection from STIs, including HIV. Next, we have fertility awareness methods. It requires a couple to know the fertility days of a woman's menstrual cycle. Another is breastfeeding. It provides contraceptive protection for the first 6 months after delivery if certain conditions are met. And this is called the lactational amenorrhea method, or LAM. Next is withdrawal. For most people, withdrawal is one of the least effective contraceptive methods. And finally, we have female and male sterilization. These are permanent methods of contraception. Sterilization involves a relatively simple surgical procedure that provides lifelong protection against pregnancy. Vasectomy para sa mga lalaki at ligation naman para sa mga babae. Okay, time for activity. Kindly get your activity sheets and let us answer activity number 2. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1, which refers to the state of being a parent? A, fatherhood, B, marriage, C, motherhood, or D, parenthood. Item number 2, which refers to the state of being a mother? A, motherhood, B, parenting, C, parenthood, or letter D, responsible parenthood. Item number 3, which refers to the will and ability to respond to the needs and aspirations of the family. A, engagement, B, motherhood, C, parenting, or D, responsible parenthood. Item number 4, which refers to a group of people related to one another by blood, marriage, or adoption. A, family, B, relatives, C, siblings, or D, all of the above. Number 5, a good parenting requires blank, provide a positive role model, encourage a productive behaviors, C, engage in adequate supervision, or letter D, all of the above. Now let us check your answer. For number 1, the correct answer is letter D. Number 2 is letter A. Number 3 is letter D. 4 is A. 5 is also letter A. Now for your activity number 3, performance task, we have slogan making. So you will create a slogan expressing responsible parenthood. So do not forget to submit your work to your respective MAPE teachers. So since our topic for this quarter is family life, I would like to take this opportunity to thank my better half. They say that the most important decision a woman makes in her lifetime is choosing the person whom she marries. And I am happy that I have made the right decision to be Mrs. Jevis Livan. The 2 becomes 1 and 1 became 4. I love you, Gian Hendrik and Jilvin Makaila, our children. It has been a wonderful afternoon to be with you. Thank you for watching and participating. This has been your teacher broadcaster, Ma'am Ann Sullivan, saying thank you and God bless.